Let's look at question 5 here. Given the equation c equals 2 times pi times r, let's solve for r. C equals 2 times pi times r. So we need to get r by itself. That means we need to move everything else to the other side, away from r. And we keep talking about this. Anytime you jump across the equal sign, you do opposite operations. So to move this 2 to the other side, the opposite of multiplying by 2 is to divide by 2. The opposite of multiplying by pi is to divide by pi. So now we have r by itself. And so you can see our answer is C. Question 8, which inequality describes all of the solutions? So we need to solve for x, split this guy up, distribute. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times negative 1x is negative 6x. If you want to bring down your inequality sign, you can. And then bring down negative 8x plus 12. We need to get x by itself, so we need to move the negative 8x over here to the other side by doing opposites. So we're going to subtract. I'm sorry, we're going to add, my bad. Add 8x. Negative 6 plus 8, that gives me a positive 2x. If you want to bring down the 18, you can. And then we'll bring down the 12. We have x on the left. We need to get the numbers over to the other side. So let's move 18 away. Let's jump over to the other side. So we're going to subtract 18, doing opposites. Subtract 18. 12 minus 18 is negative 6. Bring down my inequality sign. And then 2x. My last step is to divide by positive 2. When you divide by positive 2, the sign is not going to flip. It stays. Divide by positive 2 and you get negative 3. The only time the sign here flips is if you divide by a negative. We don't care if our answer is negative, but since I divided by a positive, the sign stays the same direction. Let's look at 9. Which inequality represents all the values of x? So we need to solve for x. But they tell me that y is 46. So I'm going to rewrite this guy here as negative 6 x minus 18 minus 2 is greater than or equal to, and then substitute 46 for y. Now let's distribute. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. Negative 6 times negative 18. Negative 6 times negative 18 is positive. 8 times 6 is 48. Carry 4, 108. Bring down the minus 2. Is greater than or equal to 46. Let's combine like terms. We can combine like terms right here. So we are going to do negative 6x. 108 minus 2 is positive 106. Greater than or equal to 46. The x is on the left, so let's start moving everything away to the right by doing opposites. Subtract 106. Subtract 106. 46 minus 106 is negative 60. Bring down your sign. Bring down negative 6x. My last step is to divide by negative 6. When you divide by a negative, that sign is going to change direction. We divide this by negative 6. Negative 60 divided by negative 6 gives me positive 10. Gives me x over here on the left. And so my answer is A. 12. Which inequality has w equals 5 as a possible solution? So what you have to do on this problem is take 5 and plug it in for w and see which one of these comes out to be true. So one way you could do this, you could take 5 and you could stow it to w, and then when you type in this in the calculator, 6w minus 8, it will do 6 times 5 is 30. And 30 minus 8 is 22. So ask yourself this, is 22 greater than 22? No. Well, this doesn't change here. Look at letter B. Is 22 less than 22? No. How about this? Is 22 less than or equal to 22? Yes, it can be equal to it. It's not less than, but it's less than or equal. So my answer is C. Again, you're looking for which one comes out to be true. 13, what is the solution? So we're just going to split this guy up here. Do our distribution property. -3 times 4n is -12n. -3 times -3 is +9. You can bring down your sign. Now, if you don't like the way this looks, you could rewrite everything, move this over to the left and over to the right. I'm just going to solve it like we see it here, and we'll change that at the end. So since our letter is on the right, let's move everything to the left by doing opposites. +9 becomes -9. -9. 25 minus 9 is 16. Bring down your inequality. Bring down -12n. Our last step is to divide by a -12, and we said in our previous example, if you divide by a negative at the very end, the sign is going to flip direction. Divide by -12. 16 divided by -12, that is going to give me a -4/3. And put your letter N down. But if you look here in my little cloud, you notice that it doesn't really match up to the answer. So what I like to do is, if you draw a little alligator mouth right here, see how the alligator is eating the letter N? So if I were to rewrite that, I would redraw it to where the alligator mouth is eating the letter N, blah, 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 can't speak. And now we can match it up. Which one shows that? If you look right here, you see it's letter C. And lo and behold, number 14, they want to know, what is the x-intercept? I'm surprised that this is still a top question missed. The x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. It crosses the x-axis right here. If you're struggling plotting points, you need to remember that you must run before you fly. So that means if I start at the origin, I must run this direction first before I fly up or down. Well, how do I get to where it crosses the x-axis here? Well, I must run a fraction, maybe run a third. But notice I'm not flying up anywhere. So run a little over to the right and fly nowhere, and you will hit where it crosses the x-axis. Our answer is A. If I plotted answer B, that says run to the left -2 or 1, 2 and fly 0. Fly 0 means just stay right there. That's not where that line crosses the x-axis. Look at letter C. Letter C says run 0 and fly up a fraction. Well, that would be up there. And letter D says run 0 and fly down 2. And so our answer is A.